Hello! Hi there! Thank you for coming today for Chatty Sunday. Today I want to talk about our experience in Canada. Supposedly, allegedly, technically, I did this video. I made this video. This is the second time I'm making this video because as I was editing the first video, I was gonna put some photos here, and as I was going through the photos I realized that I forgot a lot. Apparently it was so forgettable. It wasn't though, it wasn't. So I decided to like basically make a new video because I realized that I barely said anything. So let's talk about Canada. So first and foremost, I want to say that there is a stereotype of Canadians being really nice. And there is a stereotype for a reason. I have never met people nicer than Canadians. It was insane. So when we arrived in Canada, we took an Uber. Let me tell you the experience with Uber in Romania, for example, where we live. So in here, you call an Uber, the Uber gets here, you have to be there before Uber gets there. Otherwise, the driver will get really pissy that he's been waiting for you and you're wasting his time and what are you doing? And they will either, like on the ride, they will either not talk to you at all, which is fine, like I don't mind. I actually don't mind. Or, which is the thing that I mind the most, is they will talk about politics. And I think that everyone can relate to this because regardless of the country you live in, there will always be at least two parties that have completely separate, different views. So it's just, yeah. But anyway, the point is that when we got there, the Uber driver had to wait for us not to get there, but because we had our kid, we had a car seat, as you know. So we had to install the car seat, and it was the first time we installed that car seat, obviously. So it was a little bit of a struggle. It took a little bit, and I was like so apologetic. I was like, I'm so sorry, it's like, it's after the flight, it's the first time, like, I'm sorry. And he was so chill. He was like, don't worry about it. No, it's fine. And not that he said that, but he actually meant it. Like, there was no passive aggressiveness afterwards. There was no snappy comments. There was no like looking at the clock, nothing like that. He was actually genuinely nice. He was like, no, it's fine, don't worry. And also, it's this thing in Uber where if you are late, then basically if the car doesn't start to go to the destination 2 minutes after the driver is there, then they can put this fee because you made the driver wait. And he didn't do that either, which again, super cool, super nice. Then the whole ride, he was like telling us his experience, what he likes in Canada, because he was also like, he was living in Canada for like 5-ish years or something like that. Like he was there for a while, or more. I don't know, because I was like in the back with our kid and I was trying to like calm him down, even though he was calm, but I was trying to make sure that he will continue to be like that, obviously after a long flight. But he was really chatty in a really nice way. He was like, oh, by the way, in Toronto there are these islands that are really cool with like parks and all that, so if you want to go there, it's actually really nice, it's really fun. So he just tried to give us like tips and tricks, where to go, what to see. He was really nice. Then another example of people like just being nice, it was we went one night, we went in Toronto, like one evening. We went in Toronto, we just like see the city lights and just have basically like a date night. And me, as a Romanian who has been living in a country where the architecture is communism, I obviously was like, oh my God, skyscrapers, you know? So I was just like taking photos of the skyscrapers. I was like, and it was insane because there were people that were walking on the sidewalk that were behind us and they would stop to let me take photos. And I was like, no, don't worry about it. Like, you can walk, it's fine. But it was just so nice because it wasn't like one or two people, there was like several people that stopped to let me take photos, which is really cool, especially because we were in Toronto and it's a big city, and people who visit Canada, I think they usually either go to Toronto, Quebec, or what's the other one? Starts with a V. Vancouver. So I think that you would go to like one of these three, okay? And I thought, like, obviously, in time, it would get annoying because you would get a lot of tourists, and you as a local, it might get a little bit like, oh my God, these tourists, you know, I would think. And they were actually really nice. No one said anything, no one was mean in no situation and nothing. It was like everyone was so nice. It was amazing. Two, second thing that I liked was the second thing I want to talk about is the groceries. It's a weird thing to talk about groceries, but so if you go in Romania in a hypermarket and you want to get some produce, you want to get some fruits, you want to get some vegetables, sometimes you're lucky. Sometimes you're lucky and you find really nice, really good things, fresh things. And sometimes everything is old, wrinkled, squishy, moldy. So you're just like, what am I gonna eat? Basically. And I was like mind blown. I was mind blown because we went to get groceries quite a lot, and because I wanted to try everything. So we went to get groceries several times from several different places. So it wasn't just one store. And all the produce was like perfect. It was literally perfect. They looked like that photo that you get in the catalog or like the magazine for the store, and you see the photo of like the apples that look like amazing, and then you go to the store and they're not like that. Well, for them it was the photo, that's what you were getting. So everything looked amazing and they all like were really good, they tasted good. So it wasn't like, I don't know, because a lot of people would say that it was like, the chemicals and all that. I'm not saying it's not, maybe it is, but they tasted the same. Like there was no difference between the vegetables here and fruits here and the ones in Canada. The only difference is that the ones in Canada were actually fresh and good. But it was insane because all the stores were like that. All the produce everywhere was like perfect. I know one of the stores had this thing where if you would buy something and you realize that it's not good, I would think it was like within the same day. Like you go back and they will refund you, but they will also give you like the same produce, but well, the same type of produce, but good. So not only you get the money back, but you also get produce that is good, which was, for me, I was like, I guess like it shows that they know quality and they provide quality. It was, honestly, I missed that. I missed that a lot. Um, Three, the third thing I want to talk about was really weird, was a really weird change. So in here, when you say let's go to the park is this location, this land, basically. It's like, it has trees, yes, it has nature. A lot of our parks have like some type of water around, like in the park. But our parks have a lot of benches. They have like alleys, different alleys, but like cemented. We have nature in the park, but we also have the alleys, the pathways that are cemented. They're like pathways, and we have benches along those alleys, always benches. And in the park, in several different spots, we have playgrounds for kids. Now, I only went to one park in Toronto, but it was completely different. It was like, we walk in the park, and as you entered it, it was like this land that had like a tree here, one there, one there, one there. Like, it wasn't a lot. And it was this playground. And then you had this path that you would go on. And it turned into kind of like a forest, basically. So it was just like a walk, like a not hike, what's it called? Whatever. It was a walk through a forest, which was really, really nice. I loved it. But it was really interesting to see that difference, because from what I understand, that actually is a difference. For us, we have, like, in front of like apartment buildings, let's say, we have playgrounds that are small, just like some swings, some slides, and just little things. But we also have parks, and the parks that we have in, because usually our parks are pretty big, so we have the things for like grown-ups. Sometimes in a park that's bigger, you can find like a restaurant or a bar or something like that. But you also have, in different places, playgrounds within the park. And it was interesting to see that it wasn't like that. But it was nice. It was like a walk in the nature. And yeah, that was pretty. Another cool thing that I loved. Now, I might be dumb, but I don't know if we have this in Romania, in Bucharest. I haven't seen anything like that. I haven't heard of anything like that. And we found like several of them. We went to two of them, but there were several. It's I say it's like an arcade type of thing. One of them was like completely arcade. It was just completely arcade, like it was huge. I have videos. I don't know, maybe I'll put some here. But it was a lot of like games and stuff like that. But they also had, separate from that, like a baby, young kids, toddlers section, which was like mind-blowing. Like, they had so many cool things in there that I wanted to play. It was really amazing. And we went to, like, one of them was this one with like a lot of arcade and stuff like that, and I basically kind of abandoned my family for a little bit because I've never seen that. Well, I've seen that in movies, but in Romania I've never seen that ever. So I hung out with them a little bit. I saw what's up with the baby section, and I was like, okay, cool. It's my husband, his mom, his dad. So there's like 3 people that can take care of our kid. Now I'm gonna go. And I'm gonna play some arcade, because I probably won't do that anytime soon. And it was actually really fun for everyone. And then we went to another one that had like less arcade, like a lot less arcade, a lot more of like baby stuff. But it was really cool because like our kid had fun, I had fun. It literally everyone had fun. It was really amazing. They also had the big one that we went to. It was around the mall, the Center Point Mall. For people who live in Canada, it was in Markham, around the Center Point Mall. That one was really cool because it had like this little bar, not like alcoholic bar, but like cocktails with like mocktails basically, with different drinks. They had a like little-ish, it was like medium supermarket inside, and I think it was like Asian, and we got a bunch of stuff from there too. And they had like different things like that, little restaurants, little places where you can buy some food. Obviously it was overpriced, but like that's just normal. That is normal. But it was really cool because it was literally like you come here and you pay for like a whole day, so it doesn't matter. And I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really cool because you have everything that you need right there. You have like baby, toddler stuff, you have older kids or grown-up stuff, you have little mocktail stand, you have a supermarket, they also had like in front of the supermarket, they also had tables and chairs, so you could buy something and like eat there. They had a mini golf thing too, but not mini golf. They had a golf simulator, but it was like somewhere else. You had to pay for it, and we didn't because a baby can't do that. So we didn't. I think they also had laser tag. I'm not sure, but it was basically like you had anything you need. Like if we, I don't know, if we would have had like a vacation without our kid, I probably would have spent several days, whole day in there, because they had so many things that I can't see how you would get bored, to be honest. And it wasn't expensive either, which is like, well, it depends. So to enter, it's not expensive, but obviously you have to pay. If you want to play at the arcade, you have to buy credit. But I don't know. For me, it was like, it's worth it. Completely worth it. Okay, so that was really cool. We went to the aquarium, the big aquarium. Don't ask me the name. I actually don't know. It was the big aquarium in Toronto, okay? I don't think there's another one. It's around the stadium. It was a beautiful experience. It was beautiful. There's so many things that you see there. So many things. And I loved what I saw it on a bus. I saw the ad on a bus and I was like, oh, let's look it up. Okay. And I was like, cool, we have to go. So, but what sold it for me was the tunnel, because there is this part in the aquarium where there's like a tunnel and you walk through it, and just the aquarium is literally all around you. And I was like, that's amazing, we have to go there. And we did, and it was really nice. We saw a lot of things. Jesus Christ, jellyfish, it was unreal. It was unreal. I swear to you, I will put the video here. It was actually unreal. I was looking and I was like, I don't know if those are actually jellyfish or this is like fake, like a video they're projecting or something. I don't know. Conspiracy theory. No, but it was really amazing. We had a lot of fun. Oh my God, this hair doesn't listen. We had a lot of fun. It was really nice, and obviously they have a souvenir store, and we bought some magnets because in Romania the culture is you go somewhere. Well, when you come back, you have to have magnets for everyone close to you in your family or friend circle. So we bought magnets. I think, now I might be wrong. I think it's because when we were like under communism, usually people couldn't leave the country. And if you would leave the country, it's like you were rich or you were with the party. It's like a whole thing. So I think that it was like, oh my God, we can't really go out, you know. So if you do, bring us a magnet, you know. And then obviously when we got from under the communism, we became what we are today. It was obviously really expensive. Obviously our economy crashed. So I think that's where that thing is. Like people couldn't really afford to go places. So if you went, you bring me a magnet so I can pretend that I also went there. That's what I think. That's my theory. Anyway, we got to the souvenir shop, and to my surprise, being in Toronto, like actually Toronto, and being a souvenir shop in this huge aquarium that also, let me tell you, it was packed. It was completely, fully packed. It was full of people. And I would think that the prices are gonna be like mind blowing. I was actually afraid to look at the prices, and our kid loves axolotls, and we love axolotls because I don't know if you know, but you probably know there was this huge thing on TikTok with this guy that makes like songs, makes up songs, and it's like the axolotl with the penguin, and yeah, that's why we sing to him. So he loves axolotl. So he saw the axolotl in the souvenir shop, and he was like, and I saw it before he did that, and I was like, oh, I want that axolotl. And then he did that, and I was like, well, I guess we have to buy it. And it wasn't expensive. It was like, it's like this big, obviously thin because it's an axolotl, but it was like, it's a long toy and plushy, and it was not expensive at all. I was actually really surprised. We also went to restaurants, to two restaurants, and one of them was, it was like on the, I'll put a photo of what I'm talking about here. Don't ask me the name of the restaurant, I don't remember, but it was on the edge of a water. It was like next to like a port. It was across from the islands, basically. This is the easiest way to tell you. I think it was like around where a brewery is, also a brewery that's also a restaurant. Anyway, it was really amazing. People were really cool. We went there with like everyone, all of us went there, including our kid, and it was a little bit stressful because I don't want to be that parent with that kid that, you know, is bothering people. But he, yeah, well, he started bothering people, and we just took turns of going out with him. But it was a really nice restaurant. People were really cool. They brought a menu for him, and on the other side it had like this thing where you can color and stuff like that. It was actually pretty nice. The food was good, but my main problem was that it was full, because we were outside basically. It was full of bees. I am not joking. I am not joking. I was like, at some point, I was afraid to eat anymore because the bees kept coming on the food, around the food, on the food, around the drinks. And I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna like get, because I bought a pizza myself. And I was like, I'm afraid that I'm gonna try to bite out of this pizza, and like right in that moment, a bee will land and I'll just eat a bee pizza. And I didn't want that. But overall, it was cool. We went to another restaurant in the old town in Toronto, the Spaghetti Factory, I think it's called. It was really nice. I loved it. The food was like amazing. But what blew me away is the way the restaurant is set up inside, because it has this part that's like this section that's like has a carousel, like in a park, like in a theme park, like a carousel for kids. Then there's this other part of it, of the restaurant, that has this basically a train car, you would say, that's in the restaurant, and the tables are in the train car, basically. And I thought that was really, really cool. um and the menu came with like the little history of the restaurant. I thought that was really nice because it used to be like a blacksmith shop, I think. It was really nice. The waiter was really amazing, and the food was just really good. The other thing I want to talk about is I went mini golfing for the first time. So I know in North America is a huge thing. Like golfing is like everyone does it. Everyone is golfing. You golf since you learn to walk, and that's when you also learn to golf. We don't have that. We have like in the whole country, I think, because we actually looked it up, we have like 7 places where you can golf, and it's they're like what you guys would call like a country club. It's not oh, I want to go and golf. No, you can't afford it, and they will not let you in probably. But it's really expensive because it's for rich people in here, which is crazy because it's like, what's the difference? No difference, literally no difference, because we do have the land to have stuff like this. But in Romania, there's this mindset that golf is rich people sport, which is insane because, like, why? But anyway, so I went golfing and I was like so excited. It was so cool. But I was also stressed out because it was it was a popular, I think it's called Timber Creek. And it was, I don't know if it's popular in general or it just happened. We went there twice because the first time it was for my husband's birthday, but because I wanted him to enjoy and be okay, our kid was not really into the standing and looking at people doing stuff. He wanted to explore, look around, so I went away with him and let my husband enjoy his birthday with his parents. I was like, it's fine, don't worry about it. But he wanted to be cute, so we went there alone. When we had our date day, we went mini golfing. So both times it was really full, and again we went like, I don't know, like Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that, because again we were in Canada for 2 weeks, so we went like middle of the week, middle of the day, and it was like full of people. And it was a little bit stressful for me because I was like, oh my god, I don't know how to play golf. First of all, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna embarrass myself so bad. I was like, people are gonna look at me and they're just gonna laugh their butts off. But surprisingly, I was not that bad. Surprisingly. But the other thing in my head was because basically you go on this, they had like 2 or 3 courses, and we went on, I don't know, let's say 1 or 2, I don't know, I forgot because they had names. Whatever, we went on the shipwreck course, and we went in the first, we did the first hole, all good. And then we were in like the second or the third hole, and I looked back and there was someone right behind us, like, well, a hole behind us. And I was like, oh my god, not only now there are people that could potentially wait for me, but they're also gonna wait for me while they're looking at me and how I play, and I don't know how to play. And I was like, oh my god. So I had that for like, I don't know, half of the course, and then we had to wait for someone that was in front of us, and it was like a whole family of like it was like obviously mom and dad. It was another grown up. I don't know who it was. And they had like three kids. When I say kids, I mean like the youngest one was, I would say, like 3, 4 years old, and the oldest was 10, something like that. And it was crazy because they had no problem letting people wait. No problem at all. And that's when I realized, because at some point we were waiting for them. And as we were waiting for them, I look literally behind me and I see the people that were like the hall behind us. They're also here now, waiting with us. And then in the hall behind us, there's someone that's just finishing playing that hole basically. And I was like, oh, so it's just gonna be three groups of people that are just waiting basically in line to play, because they're not. So the problem wasn't that the people in front of us were bad, because they weren't necessarily bad. There was one person that was really bad, and surprising, it wasn't a kid. But the problem was that they were just like they were just gonna hit. And as they were gonna prepare, the mom was like, take a photo, please stop, smile. And I was like, ma'am, we took a lot. We took a bunch of photos in the golf course. But how? Basically, I was gonna hit the ball and my husband took photos. He was gonna hit the ball and I took photos. And when we were waiting in line to play, we were taking other photos. But we never stopped like playing to take photos. I was like, come on, like it's not like we're waiting. It's like three groups waiting here for you. But it was fun though. It was fun. And it was a really cool experience. They had a bunch of stuff. I wanted to do like other things as well, but I actually didn't think it was gonna take so long, but probably because we had to wait. Because they had like this other thing of, I forgot how it's called. Basically, they give you like this bag of sand and gemstones or something. But it's a bunch of sand, and the gemstones are like hidden in there, and you have to like wash the sand out and get the stones. And it's like, I thought it was pretty cool. Then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, it's not that cool. I can just go and get some gemstones. But I guess maybe the experience. But it was really cool. I have to say, if you are around there, please go to this mini golf course, because it wasn't just like, oh, you like hit the ball and it's the hole that's there or there, and it's like a harder way to get there. I love the fact that it was like there were like some shortcuts. So basically, like, let's say this hole number 10 had this space, and you were here, you had to like put the ball here, and there was like a water going like here. So basically some of them had this shortcut where you, because it happened to me, basically I hit it and somehow I got it in the water, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I have to go get another one. I'm so dumb, Jesus Christ, I'm embarrassing. And my husband was like, no, 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 wait. And it actually, like, there was a pathway with the water, and it was taking the ball to where it needed to go. So it had little things like this. It was actually really, really nice. It was really cool. Really cool. I don't know, I lost track. I think this is the fifth thing I want to talk about. I don't know. But the last but most important thing for me was, I think it's the last thing I want to talk about. We'll see. But the most important thing was we went to Niagara Falls, and it was anything and everything you can dream of. I do have a complaint. So we were in Canada again for 2 weeks, and we were gonna leave, I forgot if Saturday or Sunday. I think Saturday. We were gonna leave Saturday, and we went to Niagara, I think Thursday. It was like really close to us leaving, and we had other things to do, like, yeah, because Friday obviously we would have to pack, so we couldn't drive 2 hours and a half going and 2 hours and a half coming back. I don't know if it was 2 hours and a half, around there, maybe less, a lot. I mean, I think it was less. Anyway, the point is, basically that Thursday we postponed it to the point where there was no more time to postpone it. The whole time we were in Canada, it was the best weather. It was the best weather. It was beautiful. It was sunny. It was warm. It wasn't hot. It wasn't hot. You weren't sweating by walking. It was warm. It was nice out. There was a little bit of breeze here and there. It was like perfect, literally perfect weather. Perfect. When we went to Niagara Falls, the whole day, literally the whole day, it rained. Literally the only day it rained was that day. And I was like, are you serious? Like, seriously. But I was amazed because I don't know why I thought, I didn't know much. I knew Niagara Falls, but I didn't think that I was ever gonna go there. So I didn't do a lot of research. I didn't know much. And it was insane because I thought it was just this, it was the Niagara Falls somewhere in the middle of nowhere. You know, I thought it was like nothing else around, maybe like a little, I don't know, like this little area where you can look at it and that's it. And we got there and there was like this whole town. It was a whole town that was like, I don't know, like it had play spots. It had so many little restaurants. It had a wax museum. It had like scary house. It had so many little shops with like sweet and like fondue and chocolate and fudge and just literally every step you would take, it was a whole nother thing. Everywhere you would look, it was colorful, it was flashy, it was like tourism, give us the money. It was really cool though. It was really cool because there was like, I think that if you ever want to go to Niagara Falls and actually, and well, you would enjoy anyway, but if you want to like actually take advantage of the whole thing, you would actually need several days because there are like so many restaurants, so many playgrounds, like indoor playgrounds, so many arcades, and again, the wax museum. They had a Dracula house too. It was like things that I can't even remember. There was like one next to the other, next to the other, next to the other, on both sides. It was insane. It was everywhere. It was really, honestly, really cool. We didn't really have the time because, again, the ride was like 2 hours and something. Also, it was a lot of traffic. That's why it took so long. It took longer than it should have. We also had our kid with us, so obviously the patience is like short. It's not a lot of patience with him. Like, he doesn't have patience to like wander around and stuff like that. So we couldn't really go to a lot of places. We went to like somewhere to eat. We obviously went to Niagara. Like, we went to like that, how do you call it? I don't know how you call it. It's literally like this part where it's like you're at the edge, basically, kind of, and you look at it. And it was really cool because I didn't know. Hopefully you don't know either, so I won't feel as dumb as I felt when I found out. I didn't know that on this side it's Niagara Falls in Canada, and on this side is Niagara Falls in New York, the county. I was like mind blown when I heard that. I was like, what? So, a fun fact, in case you didn't know, you probably did, I didn't. It was really cool. At some point, I went to like a duty-free shop because I needed to buy something that I couldn't find anywhere else. And I saw this little sign that was saying that you can literally walk, and it's like a 15-minute walk to get to US. And I was like, oh my God, we're like there. We're right there, basically. It was really surreal because I didn't know. But we went to this wheel that if you when you get up, you can like look at Niagara. You look down, you see the whole beauty of it. And it was really cool. It was just the three of us because my husband's mom is not happy with heights, so she was afraid to go. I was also really afraid, honestly. I was really afraid, but I was like, how many times do you think you're gonna be here in this life? You know, it's not an everyday thing, not an every year thing either. So it might be once in a lifetime thing. So you do it, okay, ma'am? So I did. And it wasn't scary at all. Like it actually was really nice. To be fair though, the wheel wasn't like a park, like a theme park type of wheel. It wasn't like, oh, let's go, let's be fast or anything weird like that. It was just taking you around, and when you would get at the top, it would stop you. It would stop for each of the cabin that had people in, for them to basically look at Niagara and like actually be able to maybe like take a photo or something. It was really nice. It was actually really nice. The weather was not, but it was beautiful. And it it's that city or town is completely basing itself on tourism. But I have to say, I love it, okay? I loved it. I went to a souvenir shop and I was like, I was afraid, man. I was afraid because I was gonna buy everything there. But I had to pace myself. I was like, okay, can we chill? Because, I mean, you're okay. Because we also obviously got souvenirs from like other places, like from Toronto and um, from Toronto, like the city, but also Toronto, like the port there, and now Niagara. And I was like, okay, like, can we chill about it though? It was a beautiful experience, honestly, being in Canada. It was basically being in another world, and anyone that can go there, I 1,000% recommend, like a billion percent recommend to go. That aquarium is beautiful, but be aware that it's gonna be a lot of tourists, a lot. And I couldn't complain because I was one of them, but it was honestly, Canada was really beautiful. And I want to say one last thing about Canada. The groceries, the price of stuff in Romania, where we have this idea that US and Canada are really expensive countries and that you couldn't afford anything there. I have to say the rent in Canada, well, where I looked, it was not cheap. For what we would need, it was not cheap. But the any like groceries, ordering food, anything like that, the difference is not huge. Sometimes there were some things that were cheaper in Canada than they are here, which is crazy because technically Romania in this point in time, it's the cheapest country in the European Union. So that says a lot. And somehow still there were some things that were cheaper in Canada. And yeah, it was a really, really beautiful experience. We loved it there, and honestly, we would love to move to Canada. Now, I don't know. We will live and we will see. It's hard, but I have to say that I fell in love with Canada. Like I love it, okay? I love it. So, yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you have any questions, if you have any comments you want to make, please feel free to comment, feel free to ask, feel free to anything. And I actually look forward to hearing anything, like any idea, any question that you guys have. I'm an open book. So thank you for chatting with me today, and I'll see you next time when we're gonna do some makeup, probably, hopefully. And hopefully it will be good. So see you next time.